decided to make something of a personal video, kind of, questions, answers. I've been asked a lot of personal junk that I can't type out, in an ask thing. I don't know why, I just don't feel like I can. So, first question, I guess, that I got was, what was my coming out story? I wouldn't call it a story, I guess. For like a year and a half, I identified as genderqueer, and I identified as a lesbian, which kind of contradicts the genderqueer thing, but, I started seeing just changes in how I started looking and how I wanted to put myself out there, and I tried to disguise myself as a man a lot and see how others reacted. Eventually I started finding other people, and I learned the term transgender, and I was like, huh, that sounds like me. And I can honestly say the first transgender person I found was Joji Victor Biernat, or Gray, whatever. He goes by Gutterface, whatever he goes by now. His photos kind of inspired me, and I was like, cybergoth, this and that, and I really got into that, but that didn't help with my gender issues. Anyways, so I found him, and then I started finding a bunch of other transgender FTM people, and I was like, huh. So I started showing my mom, and every once in a while she'd ask me, do you want to be a boy? And I'd always lie and be like, no, they're just cool. I think they're cool. And I just wanted to see how she reacted to them before I told her about me. Which she was pretty good about it. She was sad at first because she said that she lost her daughter, and that she wasn't because I was the only cisgender female in this part of the family. My dad has three other sons. Yeah. So, but she's getting better. She's not used to calling me Leon or he yet. She tries sometimes. My brother does too sometimes. It's better than nothing. My dad, he won't. He acknowledges it sometimes and jokes around, but I completely understand why he won't do it, and I respect his decision, and he respects mine, so it's fine. And the reason I left school, that's kind of a doozy. I always struggled with bullying. I live in this small town, Oregon, called Molalla. Molalla is basically a shithole. Maybe not for everybody, but for someone like me, it's not okay. There's a lot of there's good people. This is a town, a really isolated town. Everybody's spread apart, but it's not a place for me and my friends, who are a little more on the odd, creative side, I guess. My art was probably the only thing that kept me connected with the students at Molalla High School. Freshman year was when I was still genderqueer, and identifying as such, I didn't really care if people called me she. I wore makeup, I wore a lot of odd outfits, typical emo, raver junk, and I drew anime. I was kind of a weeaboo, kinda. Back then, I had a girlfriend. I was, just doing my own thing. I would dye my hair a lot, cut it into typical emo crap fashion. But the peculiar thing is, when I had my girlfriend, whenever we hung out, I would always act like my characters, who were all male. And I didn't like being me, and I would always act like this one in particular, Dilly. Delirium, Dilly, whatever. He is kind of the epitome of everything I would like to be, but not. He's kind of a jerk, and I'm not a jerk, naturally. I can be, but not if I don't need to be. But, so sophomore year, I had told my mother that I was trans, and my friends, they were still calling me my birth name. They didn't really acknowledge it much at all. I guess I didn't really care back then, but whatever. The beginning of the year was okay. Bullying got really bad. I can't explain how bad the bullying is. At Malala, I had to walk down the hallway with my music blasting in my ears so I wouldn't have to hear any nasty comments. I couldn't go to the bathroom unless I was sure everybody was still in class and had to ask in the middle of class and miss important lessons so I could just go to the bathroom without being ridiculed and asked what gender I am. I can't walk around town with my friends without getting honked at and people shouting really extremely rude comments. And it was like that in Canby for a while. I used to visit Savannah and Canby. We would get made fun of a lot by these random middle schooler kids that would come by on their bikes and, do their thing. We got rocks thrown at us before. Junior year I went to Canby School and everything was amazing. People referred to me as he and my male name at the time, which was Nick, and everybody was really just sensitive and nice. I had a few incidents where bad things happened. Me and my friend Colleen decided to go get lunch at, I think it was Burger King, and that's a little ways away from the school than what we usually go. So we get there, and we order, our food, and some guy comes up and asks me if I have some random places pierced. It was really rude. I told him no. He asked me if I was a Satan worshiper, and I said no, of course not. And as we were leaving, they threw their trash at us. This didn't really bother us because we were like, whatever. They were dressed in camouflage and just typical hick junk. But when we got outside, Colleen turns to me and she's like, "They're throwing rocks at us." And I was like, "Are you serious?" I turn around and there's this whole pile of rocks just sitting behind us, and luckily they'd been hitting my backpack. But so we walked through the parking lot of Safeway, going back to the school, and they were following us and saying, the typical whispering to each other, "Oh, lesbians," and it's like, whatever. So I decided to retaliate and tell him, "I'm sorry, you're gonna marry your chicken." Which got me in a little trouble, but he got in more trouble. He got, text messages. He got, what's it called? Suspended for a little bit, which was nice. After that, nothing. Well, we did have another incident. I got my hair cut differently for once. I went to McDonald's with my friends. This guy happened to have somewhat of a similar haircut as I did. And he decided, he was surrounded by a bunch of girls, so I guess he felt the need to be superior, and he started saying very loudly and very rudely about how he was going to make his Facebook status about how he shared the same haircut as a dyke, and how he was, whatever. So after leaving, I went to fourth period and I was crying, of course. I'm a big baby. And I heard he was bragging about how he upset 2 lesbians and stuff. Once again, lesbians. No. Anyways, so I have the best friends ever, and they texted each other and texted everybody they knew, and we found out the guy's name, and I reported him, and I was like, I want to talk to him face to face if I can, but if he's going to be a coward, then I'll just write him a letter. And to my absolute surprise, he agreed to talk to me. So we're in there, and I explained to him, that hurt, that was not nice of you, and I just got my feelings out, and he was so sincerely sorry. it almost broke my heart. He told me that if he was me, he'd spit on him or something, and he said he'd come into the counselor's office crying and stuff, and he was so sorry. And I don't know if I believe him, but I do. It sounded really sincere. We were told to get up and shake hands, and he gave me a hug, and he held the door for me. So, I'm assuming it was pretty sincere. After that, we never talked again, ever. We'd see each other occasionally, but no eye contact, no talking, nothing. This year rolled around, senior year, and the freshmen came in. The freshmen ruined my year. I had to leave school. The bullying got extremely bad. So bad that people were shouting things like faggot and dyke, lesbian bitch in the hallways while I was going from class to class or when I went to lunch. And the teachers didn't do anything, so I gave up. I have a lot of worse incidents, but I don't feel like sharing those right now. They're really personal incidents. And even when I went, I just feel like I'm not safe anywhere. I went to Portland Pride. I wrote, "I'm a boy" on my cheek, and I was marching in the parade, and people on the side would be like, "That looks like a lesbian. That's not a boy. You're a boy, huh?" And they were doing these really rude comments, and I was like, "Oh my god, we're at an LGBTQ parade. What are you doing?" But yeah, that's why I'm not exactly supportive of the LGBTQ thing, and when I do start taking hormones and junk, I'm going to go stealth. I am not going to tell everybody that I'm trans. I'm not going to be like, yeah, trans support. I'm just going to be like, hi, I'm Leon, I'm a male, and that's what I am. Anyways, this video is getting kind of long, so sorry for, I don't know, being obnoxious.